How's it going, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? Adrian here, and today we're going to be taking a look and review of the Rimowa aluminum card holder from the luxury luggage manufacturer that is Rimowa. Taking a step into the accessories, and in particular, a different sort of carry-on, an everyday carry, that is your wallet. So let's talk about it. So I actually picked up this card holder slash wallet when I was in Las Vegas about a month plus ago. This is something that is new to their lineup, and if you know about this or follow the brand, has been often out of stock. I got very fortunate when I was at the store browsing for some other stuff that they happened to get a shipment of these in, and I originally went in just to kind of, again, browse other stuff, and I asked if they had it in, and got very lucky. They had all three colors in, and I think it was like on a wait list and somebody didn't pick it up, so I had my pick of the litter. I had just recently picked up this card holder, this Goyard one, when I was in Japan, and I've used card holders traditionally as my everyday wallet, so I didn't think I would need it nor want it, and yet here we are. $280 later. So like I mentioned, $280 USD, so definitely in that luxury market and space when it comes to a card holder. It comes in three color variants: silver, they're black, and this specific variant, which is titanium, which comes in kind of like, it's like a off bronze slash olive, almost gray in certain light. For example, this is the Apple's like natural titanium. You can see it definitely looks different in that respect, but kind of in that same color family. So it's the more unique color, whereas I think silver and black are the more traditional, especially when it comes to the luggage. Very simplistic in its design, has the kind of aluminum outside, the plastic inside, and that's truly it. You can see the size, weight, and materials here if you really want to get that full breakdown in dimensions. Otherwise, it's very simple. It's very straightforward in terms of a card holder, and like I said, it's meant to hold your everyday carries, debit cards, credit cards, IDs, licenses, what have you. I've spent a month or so with this, and I want to kind of dive into what I think about its design, its practicality, and its everyday use, and if it may be or may not be for you. So it comes in this small little kind of gift box or, packaging. It comes with like a dust bag and some paperwork. I actually don't even know where mine is right now, to be honest. Things like the dust bag are nice in terms of the unpacking experience, but I truthfully never use those, and it's not like I get home every day and put my wallet in a bag. These are meant to be used. They're meant to get dinged up, but I guess I can see if you're like somebody who uses this for specific occasions, that might be handy. But here you can see the titanium color and design. And first and foremost, very great, kind of quality and simplistic craftsmanship that's very akin to their luggage. Since if you didn't know, Rimowa is very known for their luggages, bags, and suitcases. So no exception here. It's that same design language extended to a card holder. However, you open this card holder by simply sliding it out. So there's no like button or mechanism that you click. It's simply just a hinging mechanism where you kind of have to pinch and open the card holder. It's not going to fall open because it has this little stop gap right here, almost like a little button or divot that it catches on to close. And it has this kind of satisfying, maybe you can hear it here if I go close to the mic, click when you close the card holder. And again, that's really all there is to it. It is a plastic body inside with a aluminum outside, so much more durable on the outside. It can hold up, like I said, claiming up to 6 standard credit cards or business cards, 85 by 55 millimeters. And you can probably stretch that to like 7 cards, depending on the type of cards or what you store in here. You can see I just have 2 debit cards, 2 credit cards, and a ID or license. And that's just sort of my everyday carry, alongside this kind of key fob that I like to keep in here. Because again, the whole point of my card holders or just my everyday carry, I don't want to have a lot of things in my pockets. I prefer to have everything in one, and this satisfies that need. I still have a little bit of room and give here, like you can see. If I didn't have that key fob, I could definitely fit more stuff in here. And it's plastic in terms of the inside here, so this is malleable in the sense that I can like stretch a little bit. It's also worth noting here, if I pull out all the cards again, you do have these posts there at the bottom, so the cards don't sit completely flush. And the reason that matters is because if you just look at this at the surface, you would think, can this fit some cash in it, right? For like emergencies, or maybe you're traveling, currency. Looks like it would fit it just fine, but then because of those posts, when you actually fold the bill up like that, you can see it fits, but when you try to close the case, you can quickly see that it's not it's too tall, essentially. So you have to fold the bill again, kind of like that, in order to fit cash in it. So you can 100% fit cash in it. It just depends on how much and how many cards you have. Again, depending on what you carry on an everyday basis. Otherwise, that is a simple look at how the card holder functions in practicality, which is a little different than your average card holders that might have like front loading slots or back slots or top loading slots. It is a little bit more of a process to get this open and access to your cards. But that is also a play on why it's designed this way. It's meant to protect your information in cards, in that this is RFID blocking as well as NFC blocking, so it's not as easy for people to kind of like scan your card in terms of compromising it. But again, it's like a design meets security functionality that can be viewed as both a pro and potentially a con, which we'll talk about here in just a second. So all of that said, how has this wallet / card holder for me actually fared in everyday use for the last month or so? Again, coming from a more standard card holder, because I imagine if you're watching this or you're interested in something like this, it's because you either want to switch to a card holder or you already use a card holder. If you're somebody who prefers a wallet to be able to carry much more cards and cash or what have you, then straight up, this is not going to be for you, right? Most traditional card holders are probably not going to be for you, but more so with something like this that's a little bit more, while still compact, a little bit more restricted in a sense. Yes, you do have this great kind of aluminum material, has a very sleek look to it. I think from a pure design perspective, I personally like it. I'm a fan of their luggages. I'm a fan of how simplistic it is. It's not crazy with like the logo mania. It's not like super outright and super sticks out. If people who didn't even know what the brand Rimowa was, then they wouldn't really be able to tell, necessarily who this is from, again, in that sense. So it is a much more simple design, but it's also a more unique design and a little bit different, and that comes with its pros and cons. For example, getting to that RFID blocking and protection layer, while you have that sense of security, it comes at a slight cost of convenience. I know a lot of people who, myself included, have things like, transit cards or, what have you in your wallet. I came from Japan, where a lot of people would have this in their wallet or phone, and it makes it simple for them to tap when they're going into a bus, train, what have you, or even just tap to pay. This is designed to protect against that, meaning you do have to physically pull the card out and, tap, which, again, may be fair for a lot of people who are, more concerned about the security of it versus the convenience of it. But that's also worth noting that another somewhat potential con of this design is that to get to your card, you are opening this wallet, and then you have to sift through and find the card you want, which, especially if the card is in the middle, isn't as easy, right? You have to kind of sift through, and depending on how much room you have here, a little bit harder. Like, I can't just easily get to the middle card here. I often have to like pull out multiple cards to get to the card that I need to. Otherwise, I keep my most used cards like in the front. So in contrast to something like my other card holder here from Goyard, the Saint Soul piece, I can easily just grab the card that I need on the go when I need to. Again, this is a small, slight kind of, I don't know if you would call it complaint, but just a reality, like what I've realized in using it on a day-to-day basis, how I've had to change certain behaviors or patterns. Another thing, while this is meant to be rugged and kind of this aluminum material, I'm somebody who often keeps a lot of my stuff in like the same pocket. I'll have my phone, I'll have my wallet, I'll often slap it together and just drop it because I'm usually like in a suit in my breast pocket, out of habit, right? And it's never really an issue with these leather card holders because it's not going to really damage my phone or screen. I've had to be more conscious of it with something like this because putting these next to each other could damage the glass or crack it or, scrape it or what have you. And that's just something that is, again, a small but slight adjustment that I have to get used to. Another thing, if this is, if you don't have as many cards in here. So, for example, if I take, like, let's say 2 or 3 cards out, you can kind of hear the cards have a tendency to sort of rattle around. If you have anything loose, like I have my key fob in here, when there's not too much in there, it rattles around, right? So when I'm walking, like this is just in my pocket, you kind of have that rattling thing going on there. But that's, again, because I'm keeping a kind of key fob in here. Whereas with something like this, when I put it in like the inside or top loading pocket, you don't really hear anything rattling around, right? Because this is just by nature the design of it. So everything kind of has a pro and con to it. And I think in terms of a practicality standpoint, yeah, it's changed some of just my day-to-day behaviors that you don't necessarily even think about, right? But at the end of the day, your wallet is something that is your everyday carry, and you probably leave every day, ideally, your house with it in some capacity, right? So it's just something to think about. All in all, ultimately, this is not a card holder that is for everyone, just like straight up. If you're a fan of Rimowa and their design language and you want a card holder that isn't like your average leather or kind of like luxury style that you may be used to or see a lot, this is an option. And yeah, in itself, it could be its own sort of standout piece. It's pricey, 100%. Let me just get that out of the way. It is like a luxury brand. But I will say, in comparison to some of these, it's more cost effective, if not, I don't want to say affordable, than some of these card holders that are like in the 400-ish plus range. This comes in just right around 300, if you can get your hands on it, that is, because of the stock right now. This is unique. This is different. And if you're looking for like a luxury card holder that has a different vibe to it, it's not what's out there, or you really just like this design and you like something that's a little bit more rugged and protected and you really want that kind of extra security, this could be for you. I will say one pro that I didn't mention, this whole like sliding mechanism, the kind of hinge mechanism, very satisfying. It's almost like a fidget toy. I find myself kind of just playing with it a lot. But it's not, again, as practical in everyday use that your standard wallet or even run-of-the-mill card holder, whether it's a luxury one or $10 one that you get on Amazon, is going to have. But again, you are paying here purely for the brand and its design. So what do you think? Is this a card holder that you'd be interested in, something that you want to check out or buy? Leave it down in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.